you got your phones with you, make sure you put them on silence or vibrate for us, please.
Feels already there. I envy you right now. I envy you. Bro, shake on this back.
Make sure everybody's got a hangout before I get started.
Warm, no, it's cold. Cold.
Drink water.
He said he loved
It's kind of so homemade. Grow a little gray hair. Hey, grow a little gray hair. When you don't go big one, go big one too. You know, make a little more like that. You know, just went in that line. Right down that line.
There we go.
Yeah, I told him. I just like literally just told him. That's and you're like right there. The Lord. Okay. Sit down, guys. Sit down. Sit down. Let's go. Yeah, look at it. Look at that. Do that. Do that. Look at that. Look at that. You guys can send that afterwards. We can let these guys go ahead.
Okay, so while we are talking to you, we need you to open up the booklet and fill out that first page on the inside that's on the left side as best you can. As best you can. Write down what you think the answer will be to those questions or what needs to go in the blank. And then we will cover those answers before we, while we're going through this and before we finish tonight. Okay?
Got one ear. You got one ear. Just look at me. Yo. Yeah.
Go in here, go to sign your name and do evening program.
So once again, I'm Mr. Kitchings, Mr. Casey, and what we're here to do is to help you in your efforts to not only become better participants in this program, but better people, better citizens as you lead. So I'd like to start off by complimenting those of you who greeted us as we came into this building and into this campus by greeting us the way we greet you. When you greeted us, you say, "How you doing, sir?" And the response is, "How you doing, sir?" back. That told me a lot about those of you who greeted us that way, because it says a lot about what we talked about last week. And one of the first things we talked about last week was your character. Like I said last week, be more concerned about building your character, more concerned about your character than your reputation. Because your character is going to carry you a lot further than your reputation. Your reputation is going to carry you so far into society. Because when you get out in the real world, people who are trying to hire you, they don't care about your reputation. They care about your character. They care about whether or not you're a man of your word, whether you're going to do what you've been asked to do. So, last week we talked about the speech we gave a few months ago about the term GOAT. The G in GOAT stands for what?
Greatest of all time.
The G in GOAT stands for what? The G in GOAT stands for what? Goals. The O stands for outcomes, the A stands for accountability, the T stands for think. There's greatness in each one of you. There's greatness in each one of you. Muhammad Ali is the greatest fighter. I think we all came to the conclusion that he is the greatest boxer. Probably one of the greatest humanitarians that have ever lived in this world. Because he did more for people. That was what he was all about, beyond just boxing. He was about people. So, we've asked you to fill out this tonight so we can get some ideas about and share with you what we think are important. So, there are 6 questions on here, and it starts with goals. Write in your answers. So the first thing, or the first question where there's a blank says, you must have a burning, what do you think the answer to that is?
Passion.
Desire, passion. Say it again? I'm sorry? What did you say? What did you say? It's okay.
I said youth.
Must have a burning youth.
I said youth. I was going to cross out the A, but must have burning youth.
That makes sense, right? What you say, I'm sorry? Okay, must have a burning ambition. Ambition, passion, desire, all those things are related. If you don't have a burn for something, how far can you go? You got to have a burn for something. You know, you got to know that you want to do something, achieve something in your life. That's the first step. Because if there is no goal for you wanting to be passionate about something, again, you're going to keep stumbling and falling and having to pick yourself up. How many of you remember when you were, well, you probably don't remember when you were a little baby, learning how to walk? Anybody remember that? I remember. Well, okay, well, how many of you seen somebody else with a baby and that baby's trying to learn how to walk, right? You've seen that, right? How many times that baby fall down trying to learn how to walk? Almost every time, right? Almost every time. But the baby keeps trying. Keeps getting up and trying to walk. It wants to walk so bad because it sees people walking, so it wants to be like people. It wants to walk. Obviously, these 2 things on the bottom of my hips mean I need to be walking. But I'm crawling. That's just how you guys are. See, they say you got to crawl before you walk. That's a truism. None of you were born and started walking as soon as you hit the planet. It didn't happen that way. You had to crawl. Now, as you become adults, sometimes you're going to crawl a lot longer than you walk. But the reason why you keep crawling is because some of you are just hard-headed. You keep bumping into that same wall all the time. You get this big red mark on your head because you keep bumping into that wall. You keep falling down and having to get up. How many times do you have to bump into a wall or fall down to get back up before you say, enough of this? This is crazy. Does the wall hurt? Well, some guys, it don't even hurt because they keep walking into the wall again. would you want to walk into a wall before you found, be like, okay, enough of walking into this wall?
Do I have to walk into the wall at all to know that I shouldn't walk into it?
I don't know. You might not have to. You might be an exceptional case. But you're going to bump your head on something as you learn and grow in life. Now, whether you choose to keep walking that path is up to you. If you keep putting your path in dangerous positions and around dangerous people, dangerous situations, what's the eventual outcome to that? You keep putting yourself in dangerous situations, what's the eventual outcome to that?
That's pretty true.
If you keep putting yourself in a dangerous situation, dangerous, thank you. Thank you. If you put yourself in a dangerous situation, there's no guarantee you're going to get out of it. I said run into the wall, I said a dangerous situation. Dangerous situation. Walking into that wall is one thing. Being in that dangerous situation is totally different. I was using the wall symbolically as something that you keep bumping into that it's an obstacle. It's just an obstacle. That wall is just an obstacle.
Something to go around.
But if you know how to get around the wall, or get over the wall, or bypass the wall, eventually you will get better at doing that. But if you put your life in dangerous situations, and it's heartbreaking to hear about so many young men being in dangerous situations, because eventually I hear about them either being in the wrong place or they're in one of two places. They're in a place with bars and they're in a place where it's dark and cold. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. You're in the casket. You're not coming back. Dark and cold. So, yes, sir.
I just gotta say this is killing me. I can't see the old lady. I've been looking at her.
We'll get to it.
I can see everything out of it. I can see the bottom one. I can't see
I actually know that picture, it's an actual picture.
They got this right.
It's just bottom.
You're talking about the bottom or the
No,
top?
no, it's the top one. I can't see the old lady.
Yeah, seriously, this is bottom.
Okay, I see it
The
now.
other
It's
lady.
creepy.
I can see the
Okay.
right.
Hold up.
Oh, I
The reason why those pictures are there is to help you change your perspective on how to look at things. Okay, so don't get too far ahead of it. The next thing it says on the sheet is know what you are blank to blank. What do you think that is?
I said, know what you were doing.
What you're aiming to do?
Knowing what you're going to achieve?
Yeah,
Okay. Anybody else got the same answer? Yes, sir.
I have knowing what you are capable to achieve.
Knowing what you're capable to achieve. Okay.
Bro,
Knowing what you're capable of achieving. Those are great answers. Those are great answers.
I put.
Know you were planning to achieve.
Knowing what you're planning to achieve. Yes, sir. And what you're going to do. Okay.
knowing what's already inside of you.
Knowing what's already inside of you. All those are great answers. So, our answer to that is this, because we talked about this last week. Know what you are willing to give up, what you are willing to sacrifice. So I see you don't have a sheet. So you know all these answers. You do?
Alright. Sorry. This is y'all's fault. You did this to me.
The third one, what does it say?
I could not figure anything out.
Write it down.
I said, break it down with short-term and long-term goals.
Break it down, short term, okay? That'll work? Okay.
Read what you write now.
Be sincere about what you write down. Again, we talked about writing your goals and expectations down. Write these goals and expectations down. you're trying to go into business, one of the main things you have to write down is a business what? Plan. You're going to have to write down that plan to know where you're going. So wherever you're going in life, if you've got some high expectations, you need to write down what you're expecting to achieve. You got to write these things down, man. We talked about that map last week. Write this map down so you can follow it. I've written things down, put them aside, and come back to them a year later. I'm like, oh man, I forgot that's what I was supposed to do. But because I wrote it down, it made it easy for me to reboot myself to get to where I needed to go. Write it down. Funny thing about writing is once you get in the habit of writing, you write down more things. You tend to write more. The more you start writing, the more you tend to want to write more. Don't be afraid to want to write things, because as you get older, you're going to forget some things. Even as a young man, you'll forget some things. Right or wrong. Can you remember everything? No. So write something down. Write something on down. The next one, number 4, says what? Take what?
Take initiative.
Take pride.
Take action with your mind, process.
Take ambition.
Take notes. And then initiative. That's better. I can take that. Take notes. Take notes.
Quiet.
Bro, you don't got to run up.
Okay. All the, yes, sir. Okay. Taking initiative, take the lead to succeed, all those things are what? When you do those things, you are taking what kind of thing? You're taking charge, but you're taking action. Take action. Initiative, leading, that's all an action verb. You got to take some action. You can't sit on the sideline and think something's going to happen. You got to take some type of action. You got to take action. You write your goals down and you just leave them up on the wall on the paper and you don't act on them, and they never happen for you, then what? Then what?
It's just empty words.
That's right. On a piece of paper. Means nothing. You have to put yourself in the mode of taking action. The next one, number 5, says, say it out. Say it out. Say it out. Say it out.
I was right.
Say it out loud.
Say it out loud. Say it out loud.
Say it out loud. Say it out loud.
Say it out loud. Say it out loud.
Again, when you repeat things to yourself, how many of you ever ask yourself something, you ask yourself something over and over and over again? Okay. Did you get to know it a little bit better every time you said it to yourself? Repetition normally gets you into a mindset. So if you say it out loud, you say it out loud, you say it out loud, eventually you're going to start believing in what you're saying. Somebody else will start believing in what you're saying. See, if you're whispering or you're trying to not to say it out, it's kind of hard for somebody to believe in that. Kind of hard for somebody to say not believe in that. And the last thing is, what did everybody put for that answer?
Know where you are.
Yeah.
Know where you are. Okay, that's good. Know where you are. Everybody got that? Okay, know where you are. Before you know where you are, you should do what, though?
Know where you are.
Before you know where you are, you should do what?
Know where you're going.
Know where you're going.
Google Map.
Knowing where you're going and knowing where you are all part of an evaluation process. Evaluate where you are. Evaluate where you are. When you do those things, then you will have a better idea how to get to that and follow that roadmap. Okay? So, have a burning desire, knowing what you are willing to give, sacrifice. So I'm going to put it this way: desire, sacrifice, details, action, repetition, and evaluate. That's what those 5, 6 things basically come down to. Your desire, your sacrifice, you're writing something down, your action, your repetition is saying it over and over again, and then evaluate. Evaluate where you were yesterday, today. Did I get better from where I was yesterday, today? Did I get better this week than I was last week? How do you know if you got better? How do you know if you got better?
Pay with yourself.
Who tells you if you got better?
He takes something.
Now you know you're gonna prop yourself up. You're gonna tell yourself, yeah, I'm doing real good.
Then your peers.
But who's really gonna tell you if you're getting better?
Depends on the situation. Your boss can say you're doing better.
I want you to all put yourself in a work environment. Put yourself in a work environment. You're on the job. You are on the job. How do you know if you're getting better at your job? Because your friends and your peers, they're not there. How do you know you're getting better on that job?
You take the opposite position.
More hours.
I heard promotion. I heard promotion. I heard productivity. Which one comes first, productivity or promotion? Progression? Progression, right. Okay. So which comes first? Progression, productivity, or promotion? Can you progress without being productive?
No.
So which comes first? Okay, you gotta be productive. Because once you're productive, then you can progress. After you progress, then you can be what? You can promote. But if you're not producing, where are you going to be?
Nowhere. Be right. Be
Same place or
Fine.
you're not even around it. So if you're on the job, you need to know if you're being productive. And your work output, your production at work will be told, because if you're not being productive, will you be told you're not being productive? You won't. No, they're not going to fire you just because you didn't do it this time, but they're going to let you know you're not being productive. And when you get told that, you know what time it is then, right? Right? You know what time it is then when the boss comes and says, look, man, we gave you this job, you're not getting it done, is there a problem?
You gotta start hustling. Gotta start doing it right.
But I might like what I'm doing. If you're, okay, question. Here's a question. If you're not being productive this week, can you turn that around? By doing what? By being productive next week. So who do you go ask how to become more productive? Who do you go ask about being more productive? Your supervisor. People you working for. If I'm not being productive this week, sir, what do I need to do? I'm not being productive. What do I need to do to be productive?
Change your attitude. Change your
If he tells you you're not doing right, you gotta do that right.
Okay.
You gotta do that. Learn.
That's one of the first things, right? Because if you got a bad attitude, you're not going to be around. How many of you ever been on a job and have a bad attitude about it? Why?
I had a bad attitude.
I mean,
Well, when I knew I was going to get fired.
You got a bad attitude when you knew you was going to get fired. So your productivity was not
I
up.
had to switch up. I had to come in, do extra work, do a lot more other stuff in order to keep my job, and I ended up keeping it.
Okay. That was good for you. That was good that you made the adjustment. I had a football coach when I was working at a college. He gave me this acronym of MTA. MTA. I like MTA, Coach Mark. MTA, what's that?
Management Training Association.
And he spread that through the whole football team. And it applies to sports just like it applies to life. MTA. Huh? Stands for make the adjustment. Make the adjustment. You made the adjustment because you knew you was going to get fired. So I don't want to get fired, so I'm going to make the adjustment, so I'm going to do some extra. If it's not going like you want to, find out how to make the adjustment to get it in place. You know? Make that adjustment. In life, everything's not going to go your way. You got to make an adjustment sometimes. Sometimes you just got to walk away. You got to make an adjustment. Sometimes you got to adjust your attitude. You got to make that adjustment. Bad attitudes get you fired in a hurry. Immediately. Sometimes they don't even wait. Like right now, we're done, sir. fired from a job, it's kind of hard to get another one. It's kind of hard to get another one. Because the first thing they ask you when you get fired is, well, why'd you leave your other job? Now, would you tell them you got a bad attitude? Why not? Really? Okay.
Gotta be honest.
So, if I ask you, why'd you leave your last job and you left because you got a bad attitude, are you going to tell me that?
I'm gonna tell you the truth.
You going to tell me the truth?
I ain't gonna lie.
All right. I appreciate that. I approve of that.
And you could tell them why you had a bad attitude too if you did, you know what I mean?
He might want to know.
No point in lying. Then when they find out, like, oh, this guy lies, you know, then he definitely ain't in, you know?
Because if you lie to him, guess what?
You already, that's, you know what I mean?
Really? He was like that, eh?
He said he was amazing.
Okay. All right.
Phone.
Phone hangs up, calls you back in. So, tell me again why you got fired from your last job. No, that's see that guy there. Oh, well, I just got off the phone with him. He said you got one of the worst attitudes in the world. You don't like to work. You don't like to be on time.
Man, he lied.
Tell you what. You get to be a supervisor right there. Look what you just said.
Dave, I don't know no Dave.
You want somebody with a bad attitude? Any questions about the 6 things we covered? Any questions? No? Yeah. Let Mr. Casey come in and take you through the next section.
I talked a little bit last week about the most valuable thing that everyone possesses. Anybody remember what that is? Time. Well, to go with time, one of the worst things that a person can do with their time is waste it and get comfortable. A lot of people won't tell you this, but I'm going to tell you what happens in life. In life, you go through life, and a lot of people, what they'll do is find a job. And once you find a job, that ends your search right there. A lot of people, that ends your search right there. So, at that time, that job is the most valuable thing you have. You go to work, a lot of people complain about going to a job, but they'll go anyway. Anybody know the biggest day for heart attacks? Can anybody guess the biggest day for heart attacks? The biggest day for heart attacks is Monday morning. Monday morning. Really? And I'm going to tell you why Monday morning. Because on Friday is what? Party. It's payday. Everybody got a little money in their pocket on Friday. So you go out and you party. And you party the whole weekend. It's just the average person. You party the whole weekend. And then by Sunday, you know, say Sunday's like a Super Bowl, you got basketball games that come on late, you want to watch those basketball games, you party, you get that last minute party, and then come Sunday night, after the party's over, you realize you're broke. And the next morning, you got to go to work. A lot of things happen on Monday mornings. But people get up miserable, and they go to a job that they don't like, and they suffer and they complain. I hear people complain all day about a job they don't want to be at. But what can you do if you don't like where you're at? Look for another job. You should never get comfortable doing one thing. Comfortable is the worst state you can be in. A lot of people get, like I said, get that job and they get comfortable. And then when they lose that job, they got to start back from square one again. That's why the progression is always to set goals. You have to always be setting goals. You're going to always find something about yourself, something about you, whether it's your job, your family, your health. It's always going to be something that you don't like. You can either complain about that thing or you can do something about it. And the way to do something about it is set goals for it. I'll give you a little example for me. I went down and I visited some old friends of mine not too long ago, and my good friend took a lot of pictures. And I started looking at the pictures, and as I was looking at the pictures, I noticed over the years I probably gained about 20, 30 pounds, right? So I got these pounds on me. So now what do? I got to set a goal. I got to set a goal. I want to lose 30 pounds. That's my goal. I just started yesterday. I got on a treadmill, ran a mile and a half. Right? So that's what I know I got to do, right? I know what I want. I want to lose 30 pounds. Now I got to say, what am I willing to give for it? What do I have to do to lose weight?
Gotta give your time up.
Got to get my time up. I got to get on that treadmill. When I get the big waffles inside in front of me, the triple waffles and double waffles, and double waffles with cheese. When I get those in front of me, I got to be able to start pushing those away. You know what I'm saying? If I want to lose this weight, if I know I want to lose this weight,
Break it down here, send it to me, a little packet.
that's it. That's it. Break it down into small size. I gotta sacrifice. I gotta get on that treadmill. I gotta work it out. But I know where I'm at is not where I want to be. So every time I know where I'm at is not where I want to be, I have to be able to set another goal. And I have to be able to not only set a goal, but I have to take action every day on taking that goal. That's why you write it down. See, when you write it down, the first thing you do is look at it in the morning. And you read yourself, you read off your goal for the day. I want to lose weight. Okay. So by the end of the night, I look at that goal again, and maybe a couple times throughout the day, but at the end of the day, I look at those goals again. I say I want to lose weight. Then I have to ask myself, have I done everything today that I can do in order for me to lose this weight? And you have to ask yourself that every day. In the morning, you have to say, this is what I want to accomplish. At the end of the day, you have to say, did I do everything I could and moving forward with this goal? Take action. Take action. Every day you have to take action. And when you say it out loud, like Mr. Kitchings was saying, when you say it out loud, it reinforces it in your mind. And see, when the mind is made up, that's the most powerful thing in the world. A made mind is the most powerful thing in the world. When you have in your mind and you say to yourself that nothing is going to stop me from getting this goal. This is my goal I set for myself. And see, I don't even call them goals anymore. I call my